Hi, I'm Miss Haley with the Huntsville-Madison County Public Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple 3D apple craft. This craft is suitable for preschoolers with a parent's help or for elementary school age children on their own. And to show you what we're making today, I have a sample. It looks like this, and it's actually very, very easy. So what you will need for this craft is a ruler, some scissors, a pencil, some glue, brass paper fasteners, also known as brads. They look like that. And I got these from the office section at Walmart, and I'm pretty sure you could probably get them through grocery store pickup. I'm going to set that box aside. We only need 2. And you need some construction paper. You'll need a full sheet of red construction paper, a piece of green paper for our leaf, and that can just be scrap. And you need a piece of brown construction paper. And this is actually a piece of paper that I cut out from a paper sack that I had. So you can also recycle for this one if you happen to have some of those lying around and not any brown construction paper. So we're going to set some of this stuff aside because we are going to start with our red construction paper. So what you're going to want to do is take your ruler. At the bottom of your page, you're going to line it up with the corner and the edge of your paper, like that. Let's get that up so you can see it. And you're going to measure 1.5 inches. And we need 4 strips that are 1.5 inches wide. So we're going to first take our pencil and make a mark between the 1 and 2. It's the exact middle between the 1 and 2 marks. So we're going to do that. I'll use my left hand so you guys can see better. Right there, 1.5 inches. Then you're going to make another mark 1.5 inches from that, which is your 3-inch mark. So find your 3 and make a mark right there. You're going to do the same thing again. So at your 4-inch mark, or 4.5-inch mark, excuse me. So we have a mark right now at 1.5 inches, 3 inches, 4.5 inches, and then we need 1 more, and that is going to be at our 6-inch mark. So we're going to make a mark right there. And now you're going to do the same to the top of your paper. So again, make sure you line your ruler up with the edge of the paper over here, and you're going to make a mark at 1.5 inches, 3 inches, 3.5 inches, or 4.5 inches. I cannot say that word right. And 6 inches. So once you have your paper marked, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to line it up with a mark at the top and a mark at the bottom. And this is how you're going to make your cutting lines. So you're going to draw a line from the top to the bottom, and you'll have a line. You're going to do that for each of your sets of marks so that you have 4 lines and 4 strips of paper. And again, if you didn't get it perfect, if you wobbled or something like that, it is fine. This is not a craft that demands perfection in our cutting or in our drawing. So we are going to cut these strips out, and you're going to try to cut along the line as much as possible. And parents, I really encourage you to let your child try to do the cutting if you are helping them with this. I cannot tell you how important of a skill that is for them to begin developing. It's a really great way for them to develop fine motor skills and finger dexterity. So please let them try to cut. It does not have to be perfect. If, however, they really truly need your help, also feel free to do that. So as you're cutting your strips out, you want to set them to the side, and you're going to wind up with 4 strips of paper. You're going to have a little paper left over, and you're just going to set that aside. Save it. Don't throw that away. It's a decent sized piece of paper, and you can totally use that for another craft. So don't waste your paper there. I'm sure we can come up with a use for that. You can make maybe a ladybug. Maybe I'll do a ladybug video. All right. So now we have 4 sheets of paper. We're going to set aside our extra red and our ruler. We don't need that guy anymore. We're going to take one of our paper fasteners, and we're going to hold it not by the head, but we're going to hold it by the stem kind of near the head so that we're bracing it a little bit. Those little prongs are a little bit fragile sometimes. What you're going to want to do is you're going to find the center of your paper and you are going to poke your brad through the center of your paper. Like that. Mine did not want to poke through. So you have a strip of paper with a brad in the center. And you're going to do that for each of your pieces of paper onto the same brad so that when you're done, you're going to have 4 pieces of paper stacked on top of each other on a single paper fastener. And your stack doesn't have to be perfect. If you're not perfectly in the center, it will be okay. I am definitely not perfectly in the center on these. You can tell some of mine are a little further over than others, but that is fine. Once you have all 4 of your pieces of paper stacked, you are going to open up your brad and press it down. So both sides of those prongs, you're going to open and press so that they're like that. And that is what is going to hold it onto your brad. So now you're going to set your piece of paper, stacked paper, down, and you're going to start spreading them out. And you're going to take the top one and you're going to put it at this angle here so that you have a plus sign. And now you're going to take your next one and you're going to, try not to move the other one. It's okay if you do though, you can just readjust. And you're going to move it so it's in the center of the 2 pluses. And then you're going to do that same thing with the other one in the other direction so that you have 2 pluses crossing each other, or an asterisk sign, or whatever you want to call this shape. This is what you've got. So now you're going to take your other paper fastener, your second one, and you are going to start pulling the strips up like that so that they form a little half circle here. And you're going to poke your paper fastener through from the bottom up through your paper at the end and in the center. So let me pull this up here so you can get a better look at what I've done. And you want to do that with each strip. You're going to go around in a circle and you're going to pull them up. You don't want it too close to the end. If you do get it too close to the end, it might rip through towards the end and then your paper is not going to stick on there. And that's unfortunate. So you're going to keep pulling them around and poking them down onto it. All the way around. And this is going to form our apple shape. As you get around, it's going to get a little harder to pull them up because we've got the other papers that are in the way. And that's okay. You might have to shift your hand a little bit. This last one just really doesn't want to go in there. There we go. And parents, this is a really good spot to help kids with this one. This takes some finger dexterity that may just not be developed yet. For this last one, you might have to move some papers aside and stick a hand in there so that you can brace your brad so you can get this last one on there. Okay? You can always pull these papers around to make more of a round shape when we're done. And then once you have all of them on there, you will open your brad up and press it down so that it's nice and open. And you can see my hand's stuck in there and I have a gap in my apple, but that's okay. We're going to leave that gap in the apple because I'm going to need it when I glue on my leaf and my stem. So now you're going to take your brown scrap of paper. I would pick whichever side is longest. So right now this side is the longest side for me. And I'm going to cut along it. It doesn't have to be any kind of exact. That's about a 1/2 inch. But whatever size you want there. This is going to be your stem. So make it a stem-sized stem. And you're going to fold down the bottom of it just a little bit. So like that. You're going to fold that down. And you're going to put a little glue along the bottom there. And when I say a little, again, I mean a decent amount of glue. We don't want to skimp on our glue. We want it to stick down there. So get it nice and gluey. And you're going to glue him onto the top of your apple. You won't want to glue him onto your brad. It will not stick. It won't stick to metal. So you're going to want to slide it a little bit under that brad so that it'll be in the center. And then press it down. And to press it down, this is why it helps to have that hole in the apple. You can stick your finger through there and you can press. You just hold it for a few seconds so that you make sure that it sticks down. You can count to 3 or 4 or 5, however long you want to hold it. And that way you have your stem on your apple. Now your leaf, you are going to glue on top of that brad, but only because your leaf is going to be a little bit bigger than that and it can stick to the paper around the brad. So we're going to set our apple aside for now and grab our green paper. This is where your pencil comes in handy. You can freehand cut a leaf if you want to, but if you don't feel confident in doing that, or if you just prefer not to, you can just draw a leaf on here. You don't want it to be too big. You want it to be about the size of your apple. So I always do a teardrop shape for a leaf. That's a very easy shape to draw. You can tell I didn't even do a very good job drawing it, but a teardrop shape of your leaf, and then you're going to cut that out. Parents, if you're helping your kid, I would recommend that you draw the shape for them, but maybe let them cut it out. Or if they're very good at drawing, you might want to let them draw the shape. That is up to you. So now you have a leaf. We're going to want to glue our leaf so that our pencil marks are face down, because I never cut off all my pencil marks. So we're going to glue it so that that's the bottom. So now you're going to want to put a lot of glue on your leaf. You probably don't need any on the tip. The tip is going to poke out a little bit. If you look at my finished apple, my tip is poking off. So you really just want glue along the round part of your leaf, but you want plenty of glue. We want this guy to stick and to stay put. So we're going to smear glue all over the round part of him. Okay. And then you're going to take your apple and you're going to glue it down behind your stem over the brad so that we're covering it up. And you're going to press it down. And for this, you're definitely going to want to stick your finger in there, and so that you can get some pressure from the bottom to stick this guy down. Otherwise, he may not want to stay. And there you go. You have your apple. Now, if you have really messed up your strips of paper here, you can always just move them and adjust them until it's more of a round shape. But there you are. A 3D paper apple. I hope you guys had fun doing this craft with me, and I hope you join me again for another craft soon. Thank you.